So that's welcome to session number 26 of our Shadowrun game. I think my audio is all working correctly. I just have to check because I sometimes forget. Yep, it seems to be working correctly. I will introduce the people online while I'm checking to see if other people were actually sending me messages. Nope. Online we have Ross.
Yes, I play Womp, who's basically an oddity. He's a charmer.
A charming troll.
Yes, charming troll. Follower of Keyfoge from the BBC Pantheon. I'm currently browsing information that's been sent to him from his friend from the college, Ragadas, because he's been pestering him to join his classes, and then also trying to work out how to be able to do that because he doesn't have a sim.
Yep.
He's also recovering from the slight fright that he got from the last session where he acted as a prostitute, which he has swapped his phone with bloody hell. I've now forgotten.
Georgie?
No, not Georgie.
Flogger?
Yeah, Flogger. He swapped his phone with Flogger. So he's now getting Flogger's number and he's getting his number. Because he doesn't know how to turn off the...
Here for a good time?
Yeah. And he also might think it's funny that... see what happens with Flogger.
It's a good
Since I can remember that Georgie was also had some fixation on his on Flogger's ass when he was naked as well.
Well, the whole thing of Flogger and the BDSM advert on the phone probably works well together.
Yeah.
Do you need a pen?
I was looking for my sharpener, but I don't see it.
Oh, I think it is.
Oh yeah, that's it. Thanks very much.
I remembered seeing it up there. Always handy to remember these things. Oh. Also online we have Martin.
Yes, I'm playing Rakesh, a Badger shaman from Sri Lanka. He arrived sinless in Seattle and is trying to sort of make himself useful.
Yeah, it can actually be interesting to see what happens there. And at the table today we have Ariadna.
Who plays Shadowstar, failed Robin Hood, awakened elf, slightly less than novice on the magic rating nowadays, and hoping to help earn some money with you guys so that she can start going back to her old occupations where she was able to help the underdogs by continuing to try and rob the rich and feed the poor. Can't say I'm particularly charming according to this.
Isn't that just a go-ganger with morals?
Kind of, yeah.
So no David tonight.
No, I didn't think so. And you said no Emmy either?
No Emmy at this stage either.
That's going to make things interesting. Since we're almost in the middle of a job last game.
Planning for it, you're just hoping for a window which you can actually use. So in the storyline you had used SoCal to try to figure out when the next delivery was going to be done, So you could then sneak in with hazmat uniforms, so they will let you into the restricted area, and from there you're going to get further into the place.
Yep. And Desrin had recommended we get infiltration and stealth gear.
Yep. So we recommended your infiltration and stealth gear. You still have a chance to go off and get some of that stuff, as well as a few other different things. And you're also looking at potentially getting some IDs, so you can pretend to be different people.
Some sins?
Yep. Well, the fake sins.
Yep.
If it's a real sin, then it's stuck to you. So it's based on your IDs.
So how do you get a sin then? A fake sin?
A fake sin, you pretty much go to a shady person who makes them, and they...
So you just pay for it?
Yeah, you
really?
pay for it.
Okay.
And then you start attaching different things to it.
Okay, yeah.
It's basically a foundation for your alternate identities.
Well, maybe WOMP's university contact will have friends that can do fake IDs, basically.
I think I'm probably more likely with my Ripper Doctor.
Maybe, yeah.
IDs.
Okay.
I am open to adventures as long as it results in money eventually.
Just making sure I actually have the people who are here tonight on the map. Okay. So, right people should be showing now, and people who aren't there will be disappearing. So yes, you have connections to say that the university person might be able to help you.
Yep.
But some of you may also have other contacts.
Oh, it's just Ross was saying something about pursuing his university contact just before the start of the game.
Yep.
Rakedesh.
Rakedesh. Rakedesh. He's a little bit eccentric.
Yeah. Yep.
He's got a soft heart for small little feathery and furry animals.
Okay, so you give him a call. He's more than happy to follow up with you. He says he will be free later that night if you want to catch up.
Yep.
Just he's got classes during the day.
Yep.
What was the name again?
Rakedesh.
Rakedesh. Okay, cool. Awesome.
And I believe I was putting in context on people. I'm just trying to figure out where I put them. Well, I guess that's one of my still to do parts. Oh yeah, now I know where I put it. I put it in the storyline. Okay, so it wasn't actually attached to the character, it was attached to the story. So Womp had the Rakedesh Sanchez professor from Aslan, the street doc Ebenezer, and
So did you say a street doc would be a more likely person for IDs?
Yeah, well, he's a bit more dodgier than Rakedesh.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Shadowstar has a detective.
And I've also got Serge, the tailor shopkeeper.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. And what about
Serge might also.
does Rakesh have any contacts yet?
Okay, so you have down as Louis the Flyer, smuggler extraordinaire.
He could be the sort of person you can get IDs of.
Is that the guy that actually managed to smuggle you here from Bangladesh?
That's right. Oh, Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the smuggler will definitely have better contacts than what I've got.
So maybe we should get in contact with him and see if we can get some
That's if
ideas.
he's trustworthy.
He's a smuggler, of course he's not trustworthy. You trust in a smuggler, you could be in some trouble at some point. No, he could be a smuggler with ethics.
His ethics are all by the hour.
Yeah, by the hour ethics.
So, as you're getting ready to chase things up, you do see a news story up on the TV that there is recognition of the nation of Mordengrad, based around a single city in Europe.
Did you say it's a recognition of a nation?
Yep, the nation of Mordengrad. It had been put together within the last year, but now the United Nations officially recognizes it as its own nation. And the reason it's in the news at the moment is the leader, who calls himself Baron Blade, has launched the search for Atlantis, and it's believed to be a big publicity stunt.
Okay.
And you remember Baron Blade before being the person who was using technology to try to level Seattle about a month or two ago.
Yeah, the heroes were after it.
Yeah.
Great. So has this guy got a Victor Von Doom theme?
He does. And because he is the ruler of a nation, and he was basically given diplomatic immunity and kicked out of the UCAS. So even though he was captured by the superheroes, he wasn't able to be prosecuted.
What are you doing?
UCAS is just in North America, isn't it?
Yeah, but no, the thing is, this guy was attacking a city in North America. So, just as well he didn't actually become a country when he was attacking UCAS, because wouldn't that be classed as the declaration of war?
Technically, but the country did exist beforehand, and he was the leader of it. It's just now officially recognized by the United Nations. And because he wasn't actually captured by the nation, but by a group of independent vigilantes, they weren't able to prosecute him under their laws.
Okay.
So when a vigilante takes you down and captures you, there's no due process.
Okay. So basically, you can charge them with assault.
Yeah. And that's when the rules were implemented, saying that the superheroes won't intervene on corporate properties unless invited.
Okay.
So the superhero accords were created after that.
So, has the supergroup responded to what's it, Professor Blade, was it?
Baron Blade.
Baron Blades.
No, they have not, because the story is one of those just breaking stories.
Okay. Yeah, and since I've got no computer ideas, any idea on how to use them, I'm not sure how it's going up in social media.
Well, I'm sure it's trending in the idiots digging for pointless relics in the Atlantic Ocean.
Until they find one of those relics and use it to take over the world.
Yep, but until then,
Nah.
they still believe Atlantis doesn't exist until proven otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a bad feeling they're going to, if they do find it, it's going to be more than they can handle.
Mm. In a way, you kind of hope it's more than they can handle, because if they can handle it, they will take over the world.
No. If they can handle it, it means that they won't be able to take over the world. If they can't handle it, it means it's going to take over the world.
But hey, I'm sure someone will intervene before they do so. They always seem to.
Maybe not.
Right. Okay.
There's only so many times you can ignore a bunch of superheroes before they go, well, we've got other places to be and other things to do.
Has any of there's mermaids and things like that surfaced yet, or that's not happening until a couple of more?
Oh no, there are stories of them that mermaids have been around since about 2011. As well as most magic started coming in around then, so you're in a period where magical creatures and races are spread throughout the world.
Yeah.
And the story on Baron Blade is he's basically a super genius. So the equivalent of Tony Stark and Doctor Doom put together.
Well, this is not great news, but I gather at the moment that doesn't necessarily affect our day-to-day.
Does not affect your day-to-day.
Unless you want to go, let's go join Baron Aiden finding Atlantis.
I don't naturally breathe underwater, so I'm happy not doing that.
There is a click here to join button on the social media, and he does have a minions package for anyone who signs up.
What's the minions package include?
Minions package include.
It's a rhetorical question. I don't actually need to know the answer for that.
Just don't show it to Flogger or Alt. I'm sure they will sign up straight away.
I will easily distract them by drawing their attention to the new ice cream in the freezer.
There's also rumours going around on the net that Baron Blade killed Legacy's father.
I don't know who that is.
And Legacy is the leader of the heroes who stopped him in Seattle.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's called Legacy because each generation of the family inherits the parent's superpowers and gains a new one. And he's said to be the 8th generation, the current one.
Right, sounds like Almighty.
Is there anything more pertinent to us about
He's based in Seattle.
who?
Legacy is.
Okay.
Just that's the pertinent thing of the fact that he seems to be the target of Baron Blade's attacks.
Okay.
So, either he's a close friend or an uncle. That's how superheroes things go. They're either a close friend or an uncle.
They
all the villains of that are related to some way.
They also do have in the news that it's believed that Legacy's father killed Baron Blade's father.
Okay, so it's a blood feud. Yeah, great.
So in retaliation, Baron Blade killed Legacy's father and has declared he's going to wipe out the Legacy family.
So So we're based in Seattle?
You are based in Seattle.
Okay. I'm thinking about whether or not I want to move.
Well, the fact that Baron couldn't care less and sent off a killer robot or whatever thing.
We're kind of tied to Seattle, aren't we?
You are currently tied to Seattle because you don't have the money it takes to set up elsewhere.
Yeah, and if we do flee, it means that the money that we've got, we'll have people hunting for us to get the money and us back.
Because we've signed up for a whole lot of jobs.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've only completed 1 out of 3 jobs.
Speaking of which, we should get those IDs.
Okay. So, which person are you going to approach for the IDs? You are looking at Louis the Fly, the smuggler, potentially Serge the shopkeeper, or the university lecturer Rakadesh.
I've been putting my money on the smuggler or Surge.
Yeah, I would, but I'd prefer that you spoke to him.
Why would Louis speak to me? He doesn't know me from DOS.
Well, because you have a higher negotiation.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
I thought it's more of you owe him money.
Oh no, it's not like that. It's an actual contact, but I can do all the introduction.
Yep. I gather I have the highest negotiation in the group.
Well, you're the money bags, remember?
Am I?
Yeah, you're the intelligent one.
Okay.
You're the one that
Why
we give
didn't
the
I
money to.
increase my negotiation just now then? Maybe that's where I should have spent my points.
You'll have more points soon.
Yeah, always after the fact, when I don't need it'll be, you don't need to negotiate anymore. Here, have some points to spend on negotiation. Seems to be how it works.
But hey, you've practiced negotiations, so you're now better at it.
Am I? I still only have a 2 in negotiation.
No, I mean, when you get the next lot of XP.
No, 2 means that you're actually competent.
The dice don't necessarily agree with my competency skills, but that's another story. We might as well set up another meet with Louis, I guess. And we have to make sure it doesn't conflict with the meet you've already set up with your professor. We can always just try both.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, Martin said at the start of the game that you made a call and set up a meet with your professor for later that evening.
Basically, you're just going to a bar/in type thing.
Yeah, but maybe earlier in what time of day is it?
It is morning.
Yes,
So-
because I had to get in touch with him before he started these classes.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So yeah, I'd say we try and set up a meeting with Louis. And see how we go there, and if that doesn't work out, we can always fall on to seeing what Serge and the professor can do. I don't
Sounds
think
good.
any of my contacts are really good for IDs. Mine are mostly cops and
You got a shaman, Pegacorn.
Pardon?
You have a shaman listed as Pegacorn.
Yeah. I don't know how shamans work, but I'm fairly sure they don't get you IDs.
There are people who understand magic.
I think with IDs we need people who understand technology.
It's true.
And identity theft, for lack of a better word. Although technically a shaman knows about identity theft in a different way. They take on the identity of many animals and things.
No, Sir Cal does pipe up. He does have a few contacts as well.
Okay. What does Sokal have a specific suggestion?
He can send you to a friend he knows who might be able to help you out.
Well, look, I just really want to start setting up these IDs, so the best chance of
He's in the Mafia.
Mafia sounds very shady, but I guess if SoCal is recommending them...
Oh, well, let's see. We've got at least it's not the Yakuza, because the Yakuza don't really like us at the moment.
No, he's got a Yakuza contact, but he didn't really want to send you to them because he didn't want them to, kill you on sight.
I think SoCal still wants us alive right now. Okay, so, since SoCal's suggesting it, and he is a decker, we'll take that recommendation if people are happy.
No, you can try all of them.
Well, yeah, we can try all of them. We've got a day. We might as well run around and see what we can do.
Yeah.
So does SoCal set up a time with the Mafia guy?
He says he'll contact him and find out when he's available.
Okay, cool.
But it might take a while.
Did Rakesh want to try and set up a time with Louis?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, Rakesh, you managed to get Louis on the phone. You get a, hi mate, how's you doing?
Yeah, I'd like to see if I can meet up and talk about sins.
Should we do that at a church, mate? He says with a chuckle.
No.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's a place near the docks where it's convenient for you.
He's got lots of places near the docks he can suggest.
Well, let me know the preferred option.
So that's at the docks?
He sends you an address on your phone.
Okay.
I take it since Desmond's not here, we'll take my car.
You can take your car, yes.
Does my car adjust to... Oh, we don't have any trolls with us today.
You do.
Oh, no, we do. We've got WOP. Does my car, when we turn up to my car, automatically have a troll-sized seat?
It does.
It wasn't. We got it with a troll size.
In between games where you haven't been there, that troll-sized seat has disappeared, and it's turned into like a standard sedan, and it's also been a coupe. So it seems to have...
Cool.
We're not quite sure. The car just... I go to the same looking, same coloured, seemingly same shaped car, and each time when I open the door there's a different configuration inside, depending on who I have with me at the time. It's kind of like a magic car.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's a gadget mobile.
Yeah. Right, so Womp can get into the troll seat, and does that mean Rakesh has to squeeze into the back behind the driver?
It does.
What race are you, Martin? Are you Indian along with your Sri Lankan background?
He is a dwarf. Dwarven.
Oh, dwarf. Yep.
Yeah,
So
which looks a bit like a badger, actually.
Yeah, because you did say you're a badger shaman. So kind of like a cross between a dwarf and a badger then?
No, it's, you know how Wolverine has got his hair and that's all like...
Oh, okay, yeah.
A badger style.
I getcha, yep. Well, that kind of probably fits just perfect in terms of making a troll, a dwarf, and an elf fit into a car.
Yeah. So we got and tonight we're going to have a troll, a dwarf, and elf walk into a bar.
And if you could come up with a decent punchline for that, Martin will give you extra XP. Martin GM, not Martin Badger Shaman.
Okay, so the Louis the Fly has given you an address to a place known as Disable Harbour.
Disable?
D-U-S-A-B-L-E.
D-U-S-A-B-L-E. Disable. Yep, harbour.
Yep. And it's apparently a dock number, so you have to go out onto the dock and get onto a boat.
Yep. Hopefully you can swim.
Well, by having the dock number, you're actually not having to jump in the water.
I know, I was making a light-hearted jest at if you fall into the water.
I just have to disappear for a moment because I'm currently getting mugged by a cat. I think he wants to be fed.
I like the idea of being mugged by a cat. That falls right into being on the docks. Make sure you give him some fish.
Yep. It's either that or we're going to suffer the meow virus.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently getting headbutted.
It's definitely a call for tuna.
Okay, so jumping in the car.
Yep.
It does have auto drive function.
And does it already know where we're going, or do I need to tell it the harbour address details?
Well, once you tell it the harbour address details, it starts to take off.
Yep. Alright, stick that into the GPS. I'm guessing it's a fairly smooth drive down there?
It is a fairly smooth drive because your car does have grid access.
Yep.
The handiness of actually having bought something with grid access.
Actually works out really well for it, and us.
Eventually you have to switch the access to a specific ID.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons to get IDs, right? Hopefully Louis will be able to help us.
Hopefully. It'll take you half an hour. Bit of a music going along.
Yep. What, no Sirenscape today?
There is some in the background, but I'm trying not to
No, it's
overpower.
fine. I'm just making a light-hearted comment. Like elevator music, but driving music.
There's a little bit of a beat in the background.
Does it date me too much if I say it's Fleetwood Mac or something similar? What does Rakesh know about Louis? Anything?
That was Martin. Did you hear that, Martin? Hello?
No, we haven't heard from him for a few minutes.
It seems to have dropped out.
Yeah, it does.
Guess they'll be back in a moment.
So we've lost Martin as well.
Ross is just doing stuff, so Rakesh is back.
Hello? Sorry about that.
All good, it happens. So you got asked a question, what do you know about Louis the Fly?
I have no idea.
Martin, does he know anything about Louis?
Well, is there anything you want to make up about Louis the Fly?
Just... He's a go-between between Sri Lanka and Seattle, and has a foot in Sri Lanka and a foot in Seattle, and he's very efficient.
Sorry, I'll just walk up the mic.
It's okay.
So, is he part of a large smuggling family? Or is it independent?
Is Martin there?
I believe Martin's leaving it up to me to decide. So at this stage, he doesn't know. He obviously didn't talk much to Louis the Fly while he was travelling.
Okay, alright. Well, I guess I'll just have to wing it and hope that it turns out okay. Alright. Fast forward to the docks.
Okay. So, half an hour after leaving, you managed to arrive at the docks, not much way except from where you left.
Yep. And,
Managing to find a park not too far from the pier, you do see down at the dock number a seaplane parked at the berth.
is there anyone standing around?
There's someone working on the plane.
Okay. I'll head down to the plane. Greet the person who's there, see what they say.
You see a bespeckled orc.
Does he recognise us or hail us or greet us or anything like that?
Oh, we've got a dock number, don't we?
It is.
So, is this dock number the one that matches the area where the plane's getting fixed?
It is the same dock, and it looks like he's just doing maintenance on the seaplane. He goes, "Ho, Rack, how you doing?"
Rack has been disconnected.
Has he?
Yeah.
Might be having internet problems.
Oh, okay. That's not so good. I will greet him. Just pretend Rack's sort of hanging out in the background. Yep.
You'll pretend Rack gave the introduction.
Yeah, and I'll just. Did you say you're building up social skills, Ross?
Yeah, I've got some social skills.
Did you want to try and take the lead, and we'll go from there?
Well, you've got your negotiation and things like that. That's basically. Mine's more of charming and things like that.
Both would possibly be useful. Look, okay. My friend Rat said you helped him. Louis helped him. Is this Louis?
Yes, man. I got nicknamed Louis because of all the glasses I wear.
I see.
Well, he also has a pair of aviator goggles that go over his glasses.
Okay, and the fly means that you're basically the pilot.
Yeah, he's a pilot. Yeah. I was wondering. Louis spoke well of his experience. That.
You got gear you want me to take somewhere, or people you want me to drop?
I was more hoping you might have contacts in terms of helping us out with some sins.
Well, like I told Rack, isn't that the sort of stuff you need to go to church for? Because I'm not very good at doing IDs. But I'm good at talking about, what sins are good to make.
Oh, look, I believe in getting myself an education, so if you don't mind spending a few minutes, I wouldn't mind picking your brain about what kind of IDs and things would be most useful to people in our business?
Well, he normally goes to whichever family is most in charge in that location.
Okay, so,
Be it Mafia, Yakuza,
Yeah.
Triad, or one of the Korean soul clippers.
but in terms of smuggling things and people, are there any tips you can give about the best, like, I guess the Mafia families are the best qualified, but...
They all have their goods and bad points.
Yep.
The thing is, you want to approach one that doesn't dislike you at the time.
Yeah, no, I get that. So.
And it's very hard to have them like you all the time because they always seem to want a little bit of whatever action you're in on.
Yeah, no, I get that too.
So when you don't include them in the action, they get a little upset.
Yeah, that sounds like common sense.
And because, well, operating expenses and everything, I don't always tell them what I'm doing.
Yeah, I can see how that's all really common sense.
And considering we're out here by the water treatment plant of Seattle, in one of the side bays, this is not really a mainstream location,
No.
so that's why I try to keep things low key. Normally I do pickups and deliveries here.
Yeah. Do you ever need people to help you with that stuff?
Rarely, but I can keep you in mind if you want to, get your feet wet, so to speak.
I'm always interested in either doing a favour in return for a favour or earning some credits. I don't shy away from either. I'll give you my contact details and hope that doesn't bite me in the butt later.
Okay, he takes your contact details.
Thinking for his time, unless Womp can think of any questions he wants to ask.
No, because I don't really want to go for a swim at the moment either.
No.
I don't think it's safe swimming in this area.
Yep.
Well, for a troll, it's probably safer than everyone else because your skin's a lot harder to get through.
Yeah.
Okay, so drawing up kind of like there, I might call SoCal on our way back to the car.
Yep.
So, if we want to get anywhere fast, get away from anywhere fast, well, we know where our contact is.
Yeah, well that's it. We'll put a face to a name and hopefully we've made a good impression. Maybe he'll contact us for a job and we can earn ourselves a bit of respect, I guess, reputation.
Looks like we'll have to meet the family.
Yep, that's why I'm putting a call through to the SoCal. But we are on the dock, so there's probably a place where you can get a cone here if you wanted one.
Wrong type of cone.
Yeah. I was gonna say Seattle's one of your non-hardbacks. You had that for ages.
Just trying to make sure I get the correct details instead of giving you the wrong details.
So is there a listing there under Mafia?
Oh yeah, there's lots of listings for the various things, so just trying to find the right thing to tell you. Getting the right page is always fun. Okay, so... Okay, so he does set you up with one of the lieutenants to Don O'Malley.
Don O'Malley, Lieutenant. Did we get a name?
You did not get a name. Basically, because people don't advertise, association with mafia and name at the same time.
I put the address into my very handy little car, and we head off there. Head over.
Okay, so you find yourself heading towards the Redmond Barrens.
Okay, if we're heading in. Where were we previously? The docks, were we?
You're in
Yeah.
the docklands.
Today is a day for car driving.
If we're heading into Redmond, I might as well buff myself up as well.
Yeah. So, what's your dice pool?
It's 3 yellow.
So 3 yellow versus the base one of 2 purple.
Yeah, the base one of 2 purple.
This thing should always go wrong. But apparently not so wrong. So that is 3 successes and 2 threat. Now, with your threat, interesting things can happen.
We get mugged. I'm like, new takeover.
No, my nose probably starts bleeding again.
That's not a good look.
So you have the choice of taking 4 strain or 2 wounds.
I'll take 2 wounds, thanks.
As you get a magic backlash.
Yeah.
Does it look like we've lost Martin?
I believe Martin's still MIA. Exactly sure
Yeah.
what's happening there. We'll find out later.
No, I just thought I'd check in.
Okay, so yes, you take 2 wounds as you bring your spell up. And you recognize the place you're being directed to as the Banshee. You've been there a couple of times.
Is this like a bar?
It is a bar. One of the well-known bars on the edge of Redmond Barrens. And outside it has BA, SH, and E on the neon sign, having had some of the letters broken.
So the Basni?
Yep. The Bashi.
Oh, Bashi. Sorry. Yep.
So an N and an E have disappeared. As you enter, you have to hand in your weapons, which, considering people with magic are with you, it's not as big a issue as it normally is.
Nope.
Yeah.
Ability to cast spells gives you lots of power.
I like a receipt for these items.
They do give you a receipt. Is there a dwarf on the other side gives you a receipt?
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
And you enter and you find the typical gangster-looking person in the well-tailored suit sitting at a table with the only light in the room sitting on him.
Okay.
Everything else darkened, and everyone else having been asked to leave the bar before you arrive.
Oh, okay. Seems like a lot of effort. There's no need to empty a whole bar, I guess, but...
Well, mafia people tend to
Okay.
throw their weight around to tell everyone, they're in charge.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, as walking in, you did recognise what appeared to be a bar patron peeing on an expensive-looking car.
Mine?
No.
Oh, okay.
You believe it belongs to the mafia person who kicked him out of the bar.
Okay. I'm not going to dog him in anytime soon. I guess I'll direct my attention directly to the...
And you can see behind him are what appear to be two well-armed thugs.
Are they behind him, not
Behind
behind him?
him.
Okay. So I'll just approach him and kind of give him a nod of respect and say a friend set up a meeting.
So he holds his hand up as you go to say your names. Says, "Ready for names. We're good here."
I was going to say you can call me the Count.
Okay, I've heard of the Count. Do you suck? He asks with one of those ironic sort of...
I'll give him a smile of amusement and say, depends on the day.
A server brings over a pitcher of wine and puts it on the table.
And I introduce my colleagues, these are my colleagues, they want to give out their names, I'll let them. But I presume both Womp and Rakesh are quite happy to remain nameless.
Mm-hmm.
Are there enough seats for all of us at that table?
There are.
Okay, so take a seat.
There's now, how may the mafia help you today?
Well, I'm in the market for some IDs.
How much are you willing to spend?
Do I have any idea?
He
Has
says,
Sir Cal given me any kind of...
Sir Cal has given you the idea that for every 1,000 you spend, you increase the quality of the ID.
Okay.
And the longer it takes for the ID to be created.
Okay. The IDs that we need some pretty good ones, don't we?
They go up to rating 6.
And
But rating 6 can take up to 6 weeks.
okay. And how fast did we need these IDs? Do you remember?
Sooner the better for a lot of your IDs. You can get multiple IDs. You don't
Okay.
have to. You can go for the long-term one and the short-term ones.
So I might talk to him about getting some short-term IDs.
And getting a couple of rating 1 IDs to be able to burn and throw away means that you then have the ability to not reuse the same ID.
Yeah. So I've been in the market for a few burner IDs, but kind of in the long run, how many are in our group?
There are about 6 to 8 depending on the night.
Okay, well let's say up to 8 longer term IDs. That what would be a reasonable rating if I'm not going for? Is level 6 too high? Or?
Level 6 is almost perfect to you.
Okay, well I want at least 1 level 6 ID for myself. What about you, Ross? Do you want a level 6?
Yeah, I'll go for a level 6 and 4 level 1s.
Yeah. I'd say Desrin would want a level 6. That's probably a safe bet, yeah?
Yep.
And do we need to get SoCal an
Sir
ID?
Cal's got himself sorted out.
Okay, alright. And what about Bolt and Flogger and Georgie?
What does one think?
What?
What was it? I thought you said that was one thing. I'm going, what?
I said, what does one think?
Well, we could probably get them some quick burner ones.
So I think because we're going to do jobs with them all, making the executive decision to maybe get Desrin, Bolt, Georgie, Flogger, and ourselves, and I presume Rakesh would need one too. So I think we all need at least one level 6, and then probably just a bunch of burner level 1s. So 4 level 1s, so that's, is that 8 or what then? No. Sorry, I got to count on my fingers.
So if everyone is going to have about the same amount, that's going to be 80,000.
We are going to need them. I'm presuming though that their level 6 IDs will come out of their money.
Yep.
Yeah.
How does it work generally when you're running the game and people are absent and we're talking about IDs? Do they lose the chance, or can we make the executive decision and spend the money for them? Like, I'm pretty sure Desrin will 100% want a
I'm
level
happy
6.
for you to make the executive decision and have them spend the money.
Yep, okay, so...
Because if they don't have the ID and they need it, they're in trouble. And getting 4 level 1 IDs means you can spend one on each of the runs you're on.
Yep.
And keep an ID per run.
Yep, okay. Alright, so get level 6 for each party member, and level 1. So is that 4 level 1s for the group to share and use?
No, 4 each.
4
That's
each,
each.
yeah. Level 1 times 4 for each party member.
Yeah, basically each party member spending 10,000.
Yep.
Unless you can negotiate down.
I will attempt to negotiate down. I wanted to, but you kind of got ahead of me when he said, so do you suck? I wanted to say only if I like the flavour of the lollipop. If I said that line, does he like that?
He does like the line.
Okay, cool.
Because, hey, he's a businessman and he deals with people wanting stuff from him all the time.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to build up a business relationship.
And you do want relationships with the Mafia.
Do I need to roll a negotiation check then, in terms of seeing if I can get the cost?
You will. I'm just trying to make notes so I can keep track of everything.
That's okay. I'm grateful for you keeping notes, because mine aren't always 100%. Then I mark up those IDs so that we know that they're there.
Okay, so he talks to you about how each of the IDs comes with a phone credit, which is connected to its own credit account, and ability to attach any sort of IDs to it.
That's level 6 ones?
Yeah, even the level 1s.
Okay. Look, if they're going to be that sort of quality IDs, I don't know that I would negotiate on price. I'm not likely to haggle with the person who's handing me a decent ID.
And so each ID comes with its own package of
that sounds like a pretty good deal. So,
well, the other thing that you might be able to negotiate is try to see if you can get it a little bit quicker.
Yeah. He can deliver rating 1 IDs tomorrow. But anything else is going to take him, anything more than that's going to take him a lot longer.
Look, I'm not going to rush them on the level 6, because you want them to be as good as possible. If they rush them, so getting the level 1s tomorrow is pretty fast.
He does say that a good ID check by a checkpoint will break it, but it means that you can purchase things with it.
Yeah.
Level 1 gives you access to society, whereas level 6 gets you anything you want.
How long will the level 6 take, just for taking my notes, note keeping purposes?
He's expecting it to take at least 6 weeks. they're not easy to put together.
Yep. Do I have any kind of general knowledge about the Mafia that would tell me ways I can ingratiate myself without... I don't want to be like a suck-up, pun not intended, but at the same time, I don't want to owe them a favour or get myself into trouble, but, you know, let them know that if they've got need help with some small-time jobs, I'm a working girl and I'm happy to take work from them, just as a in the intention of building good relations with them, if that makes sense.
He asked if you have any affiliations.
Do I have any affiliations? I don't know.
Are you corporate? Are you
No.
gang? Are you
I tell him I prefer to remain independent. It's easier to take more contracts that way. And it's easier for me to keep my client's business out of everybody else's business.
do you have any limitations on work? Are there any jobs you won't do?
I won't beat up homeless old women, if that's what you mean. Or break knees. I'm not in that kind of work.
But killing's fine?
Depends on the target. I'm not going to kill a high-risk client that's going to get me in more trouble than the money's worth.
What about, other, corporations, such as the Yakuza, who might be trying to take some of his interests from him?
That sounds like a really sketchy place to get into.
Well, the thing is, the Yakuza are moving in Redmond.
I see.
Problem is, the Yakuza also have a dragon on their side.
Yeah. So
Well, the
where
people here aren't the Yakuza with the dragon. The people with the dragon are the as technology people.
So as technology...
Oh, I'm getting them confused. So Aztec was using the Yakuza as well.
You're not sure if they were using the Yakuza, but the Yakuza was part of that job. You never found out the details.
So we're not on good terms with the Yakuza right now?
No, they have a bounty on you.
Oh, okay. Look,
10,000 ahead.
Which the Mafia is probably extremely aware of.
yeah, more than likely. But I don't necessarily want to compromise myself either.
They also don't want to help the opposition.
Yeah. I don't necessarily want to help the opposition either.
Whereas the Solparing may have turned you in for the money because they're not currently butting heads with the Yakuza.
Sorry, who might
The
have?
Solparing, the Korean Mafia.
Oh, okay, yeah. And this is
The
Don
Italian
O'Malley.
Mafia.
I was going to say it sounds Irish actually. O'Malley is very Irish, but
Well, Mafia started in Italy but has a lot of Irish roots.
yeah, okay, all right. That's. I'm not going to question that.
Whereas the Solparing started in Korea but has a lot of other Asian roots in it.
Look, if it comes to the fact that I'm doing a job for you and the Yakuza come in and they try to kill me, I won't hesitate to defend myself. But I'm not into killing as a job.
Okay, so no work there.
No. But that doesn't make me not useful. I'm very good at stealth work. I'm very good at getting intel. I'm very good at getting goods and things. That's what we've been doing, haven't we?
Catch and grab.
Yeah. And
Barely.
sorry.
Barely.
Yeah, look, I'm not gonna oversell myself, but I'm not gonna undersell myself either. I'll slightly oversell myself in the sense that there's only one way to get work, and that's to be confident about yourself and just hope to heck the dice aren't going to kill you when you're actually carrying out the job.
Well, it does say you do have a troll on your side, so that does help.
Yes. Do we only have one troll or two?
We've got trolls.
Yeah.
We've got one who has problem with doors.
He can only see 3 people at the table.
Yeah,
He's
no.
not commenting on those he can't see.
No. I'm like, well, my team, my team has a good spread of skills.
He hands you a data pad and says, fill in the details of what you're wanting to get, and he will start to get it organised.
Okay.
Once you pay up.
Yep. Does Sokol, would he be able to fill in those details pretty quickly?
Sokal would be able to.
Just to cut down on taking up the guy's time and getting him the information he needs.
Though doing it in person means that at least it's.
Oh, okay, all right, yep.
It's not transmitted anywhere.
All right, fair enough. I will do that.
You're thinking the lack of data trail would be preferable for fake information.
Fair enough. I will fill out all the information.
You'll also have to fill out mine as well.
Yes, I understand that. Troll hands are probably not good with data pads.
We're not spending an hour filling out all the different parameters for each.
Well, the other thing is I have no idea how to use computers.
Well, possibly helps that I've got a little bit of experience.
So you find that most of it is very general. It's not dealing with specific details until you get to the level 6 IDs.
6 IDs, yeah.
And for the level 6 IDs, people are going to have to go in and interview with their specialist individually, so they're going to have to take a day out of their time. And he'll start lining that up after they pay for it.
I know he doesn't give out names, but what can I call him for the sake of calling him something like, hey you?
He gives you a number.
Just a phone number?
And he'd rather it be anonymous.
That's fine. Alrighty. Done and done, I guess?
Excuse me. So.
Yes, you have a mafia lieutenant, unknown name.
Yep.
On your phone.
Yep. Okay, that's all good.
Feeling very paperworked out.
Yep. Considering the kind of jobs we got, do we need the rest of the team for most of the jobs on the books at the moment?
Most of those, yes.
Are there any small jobs that he needs done that we could do for like tonight's game?
He doesn't have anyone lined up.
Okay.
But he'll let you know if something comes up.
Okay, alright. Alright, we'll head back home, I guess?
As you pick up your stuff and head out, you notice that the guy who was peeing on the car seems to be smoking on the ground next to the car.
Smoking as in...
As in smoke rising from his body.
As in someone disintegrated him. Or, burnt him.
You have a feeling the car initiated electronic countermeasures.
Oh, I see. Yep.
And sent a shock back the other way.
As in electrified him.
Oh, is that one of the new SUX cars?
It does appear to be one of those ones.
Yeah, which has also got electrified seats as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Question mark.
Well, it's a real killer for those trying to steal it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Should have known better. I guess we'll head back to the apartment while we wait for the professor's meet, because it's going to be in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Unless something else turns up before the professor's meet.
Just looking up gear that you're looking at.
Yeah, we need to get some infiltration and stealth gear, and we might need some comms gear for SoCal, or gear that SoCal needs. That's talking about the Silver Angel job.
Trying to figure out where the items start. Equipment and vehicles. Weapons.
I have a feeling my car probably has a lot of capacity I won't know about until I unlock it, but in the meantime...
Yeah, when you get back in the car, there's a message waiting for you from SoCal.
Okay, yep.
He's lined up a weapons dealer
Yep.
just a few blocks away, out the back of a van.
Let's go meet a man at the back of his van.
Okay.
So I actually have no idea what equipment we actually need.
I've just got the instruction from Jeremy at the end of last session that says stealth and infiltration gear, gear for SoCal comms gear. So I don't think you were there. What we did last time was mostly we did planning for the Silver Angel job. That's the one where we have to break into, I don't want to say Caltech because it's definitely not Caltech, Cavallard Research Center, so that we can get access to a file called the Silver Angel file. It's one of our really big paying jobs. We need Bolt to actually do it though. So the plan was going to be, we're going to steal, for lack of a better word, or borrow one of the Russell Overland moving hauler vans, because they regularly take deliveries into and out of the Cavallard Research Centre, so we'll use that to gain access. So SoCal's going to make it disappear off one database but stay on another database, and because it'll disappear at one end, we'll get into it at that end where it's technically not being used, and then when we turn up at the gates where it's being left as... I'm not explaining this very well.
Martin, is that the one that I actually need to get the copy to prevent a relative getting killed?
No, that's a different one.
No, okay, so there's this schedule, right? A digital schedule, and the Russell Overland share this schedule with Cavallard. So what SoCal's going to do is make it disappear off Russell Overland's schedule.
Excuse me. Yep.
But still be on Cavallard's schedule. So Russell Overland won't realise the van's missing, and Cavallard will be expecting the van, so it won't look like something's been stolen. Can you explain that any better?
So basically they're trying to break into the research facility, but they want to do so without setting off alarms. They figured out that this company that makes deliveries is called Russell Overland, and if they track a scheduled delivery, they can potentially go in, delete the job so no one actually knows it's happening, steal the car, delete it from inventory so no one knows it's missing, and then drive the vehicle in that's expected, make the delivery, and while making the delivery, steal the stuff you're after, the Silver Angel file, and then drive the vehicle back and return it as if, and put the files back in as if it's all happened correctly.
Yep.
So no one knows the vehicle was stolen in the first place and that it was used for the delivery. And people will then have a harder time tracking down how you got in and out.
And SoCal can gain access to emergency exits and the control of the camera. We've got the schedules, the system directories, and a bunch of other tech stuff set up. We're going to use barrels, so there's 3 people in a van generally, and there needs to be about 6 of us going. So we're going to use barrels to disguise 3 people.
And the people who go in, taking the barrels in, will then go out again, so there's no issue with traceability back to the delivery.
Yeah, so it looks like 3 people went in and 3 people came out, but in fact 3 people are delivered inside and will do the actual stealing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm just trying to work out what
I've got...
it looks like I might just have to put on my janitor outfit and just go with the flow.
You may be one of the delivery drivers.
Yeah, the drivers.
Yeah.
I've got SoCal would need a frequency jammer, I think. It's a
He was going to create a portable frequency jammer
Yep.
to fly through the corridors, disabling the cameras.
Yep.
So as you pull up to this van that's on your GPS,
Yep.
you see that there's a guy sitting out the back smoking, which is probably not the best thing to do around ammunition, but hey, it's not like he's got a long life expectancy selling guns.
I guess if you look at it that way.
So you must be S&W. I was told to expect an S&W.
Indeed. I'm the S, he's the W.
Nice to meet you. As long as your money is good, I'm good.
This is good to know. What have you got by way of stealth and infiltration gear? I have no idea what Desmond wants us to get. Hopefully I do okay.
I have some very discreet weapons here. He pulls out a couple of pistols with silencers.
Discreet sounds perfect.
Not guaranteed to be completely noiseless, but less likely to be picked up as a gun going off.
Okay. Well,
He's got 3 of these available.
So 3
Silence
pistols with silencers. Do you know if you want anything particular, Womp?
And in case things go south, he does have a light machine gun.
Yes to all. I guess Womp being a troll doesn't really need a whole lot of armor, does he?
He does not.
What is infiltration gear, just as a general question?
That's things that help you break into stuff.
Would that
He
be...
does have a handful of stun grenades. They
Stun grenades, yep.
Give you 5 stun grenades, guaranteed to not kill people if that's your task.
Yep.
Yep, that'd be useful.
Oh, it helped I spelled grenade properly. Okay,
You would like to have had some power gauntlets to sell, but they're a little hard to come by right now.
what are power gauntlets?
So think Hellboy big hand
Oh, okay.
compared to normal sized hand.
Sounds like something Womp would probably use.
It sounds like something that Flogger does because he likes his brawling. I'm more of hitting things with large things.
If you happen to get those, just let us know. You know, I might have a troll, not this troll, in the market for some.
He also has 5 stun guns, which might help you in if your goal is not to kill people.
Yep. Did you say stun guns?
Yeah.
So not as noisy as normal guns.
So if Bolt and Georgie are with us, What kind of things would they need on a job like this?
Well, he also has a plasma cutter, which is good for getting through things that don't want to be gotten into.
That sounds also perfect.
He has a selection of environmental hard suits.
Oh, we'll need 6 of those. Will we need 6?
Where the hell are we going?
So the vans that come in and out, they deliver toxic biochemical radiation type stuff.
And you're delivering
And
to
we're
the toxic supply
Delivering
storage.
that.
Now you tell me of that. Okay, yeah, so we need to get
so
a couple of
I need-
troll-sized.
I need 2 troll-sized ones of those. And do we presume that considering Bolt was created there, Bolt possibly doesn't need one?
Well, may not have been in the radiation zone.
Okay, alright. Is there anything that would suit Bolt's body?
Well, Bolt would fit into a normal humanoid.
Okay,
one.
alright. So would that then be 4 human/elf and 2 trolls?
6 environmental suits.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so
Did you say hard body environmental suits?
environmental hard suits.
Hard suits. Yeah.
He does have 3 lockpick sets. Not sure you need all 3, but
I want one for myself, so maybe get one for 1 extra.
you could always get 2 extra. And
Get all 3. Okay. But I'll pay personally for 1 set for me.
he has 2 electronic lock breakers.
They sound good too. Did you say 2 electronic lock breakers? Alright.
He has a disguise kit.
Disguise kit sounds like it could be useful. I thought I had one actually, but I don't think it would hurt to have an extra. Yeah, I do. I don't need lockpicks. I've got some already. I've got a disguise and lockpicks, so I'll take off the one-time shadow. Do you still think we should get all 3 lockpick sets? Be handy for other members?
I'm not sure if they're trained in it.
How much do they cost?
I basically use Frogger's approach to a door and basically trash it down.
But the idea is this is the one that if you can enter and leave without them knowing, you gain more credits.
At 75 each, I guess that's not too expensive, yeah? I know I don't need a set for myself.
You can also store spares in your car.
Yeah. And the disguise kit.
And he's got 2 sets of infiltrator goggles.
Infiltrator goggles.
They're basically things that give you the ability to see in different light conditions as well as connect to computers.
Yeah. Can I preserve a set of those just for me, or?
Well, you can because you're the one picking him up. But he does have 4 sets of smart specs for those who can't take the goggles.
Yeah. Sounds like a good plan, especially for possibly the trolls. Smart specs. Yep.
That's the one that actually puts you in the augmented reality without having to be in with the cybernetic eyes and that, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yep.
The infiltrator goggles also do that, but they also do extra things on top of it.
Yeah.
And a bit more bulky.
Yeah, I'll definitely get a 12 size smart specs.
Okie dokie.
He has a box of stims.
That sounds like we'll always find that useful.
What's the downside of using stims?
Just reading it. Basically, the character receiving heals half of all strain they are suffering. But you get 10 strain at the end of the encounter.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
Basically,
Yeah, I remember the reason why I didn't want to take stims.
it's kind of the same as if you've got chronic constant pain. Every day you spend doing something equals a day you have to recover from it.
And they have a box of 3 sting, which allows you to ignore critical injuries for the
Box
encounter.
of 3 stim?
Sting.
Sting. S-T-I-N-G?
Yep.
And that you said that helps you recover?
Helps you ignore critical injuries.
Ignore critical injuries. Okay. Critical injuries, yep.
Okay, and he also has 5 slap patches.
We definitely get the slap patches.
Yep, I've got slap patches as well, but they're my personal ones. These ones will be good for the job. Not that I won't use mine on crew members, but it's good to always stock back up.
Okay, he also has a...
I was going to say, what's a happy patch again? Because I've got those as well.
Happy patch are drugs that make you feel better.
Okay.
So, what a happy patch does...
So if you're badly...
You heal
wounded.
3 strain, but you're disoriented.
But what does it...
So it's the equivalent of your high.
So how does that help?
It can keep you going when you might pass out otherwise.
Okay, alright, so
Would
if you can't run all the way to the van, it'll help you get to the van.
It might
With
help you
with the
pass
happy
out.
patch, would that also circumvent the fear? If you get a fear effect?
No, you're disoriented, but it doesn't get rid of fear.
So why would you have them? They don't sound particularly
Say
useful.
Womp has 1 strain. He can take the happy patch to give himself 4 strain and then cast a spell without knocking himself out.
Ah, I see. Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, that makes sense.
And it means you can also do extra maneuvers so you can run faster.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think I'm going to make it out of here. Hit the happy patch to give yourself that
Yeah.
extra boost.
Yeah.
So that's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
Go
I
to a van.
definitely need to get the happy patch then.
Yeah.
If there's happy patches.
Yeah, 5 of them.
No,
Sorry.
I'll say he's got a box of them as well, so
Yeah.
he'll give you a box of happy patches.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he was saying he has a las scanner. He's only got one of those
What's a las scanner?
that allows you to map rooms in a 3-dimensional way.
Is that helpful?
Well, if you're trying to map things up to blueprints and
I
find secret
see. Yep.
entrances and stuff,
Okay,
it'll tell you exactly where they
how
are.
do you spell
LAS-scanner.
LAS scanner? Yeah.
I'm also writing it down so you'll be able to get the details from there.
Alrighty, done.
And a handheld scanner for being able to find things. Which you can then tune to different
Good thing
things.
I got a troll with me. Carrying all this into the boot of the car is going to be a lot of work. Just got to go to the bathroom. I'll be as quick as I can. Should
Good.
grab my cane. Jesus Christ.
This one here, take.
Yeah, I might have to steal it.
So, what melee weapons does he have?
He does have a monoblade.
Ooh. I'll definitely go for a mono blade. Since we're going for stealth, I can't really use my hand cannon.
He does have one water knife, which is an industrial cutting tool.
Well, we already got an industrial cutting tool.
You've got a plasma one, which uses heat, and this one uses water.
Okay. So is that bulkier if it's using water?
It requires a strength of 3 to carry.
Martin, do you need this over there particularly?
No.
And what about what's the main? Oh, so okay. So if it's a flammable area, we can't use the plasma cutter, but we could use the water cutter.
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah. I'll probably. Yeah, that's probably be good. Since we don't know what we're going to be running into.
You do have a map of the facility, which you can look up. So on the locations page, you can find it at the Cavallard Research Centre. And it seems that SoCal is sourcing his own hardware. Mainly because it's very hard to get other people to buy nice items like that for you.
Okay. So what is this in a volcano?
No, it's in the side of a mountain.
Oh, okay.
Or a hill, to be more exact. So it has 3 levels.
So were there any other bits of equipment after that?
Sorry, just the mono blade and water knife.
A mono blade
Mono blade and water knife.
and water knife.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Give me a sec.
Yep.
I'm noticing things aren't working as well as they should.
That's okay. That book you're looking at right now, are they the types of weapons and things that we can buy? Is that something I can have a look at between games to look at something more specific or individual for me?
And I was thinking that because of where we are, that might be a good point for us to stop tonight.
What? No slide?
Yeah.
I'm getting very
I'm
tired.
joking.
Well, the only other thing that we would have been trying to do is seeing if we can get Ragged to advise us where we can get some magical, where the magical shop is.
Is that, would that take long to do? Did you want to do that this
We
day?
could do that.
And that way we've ticked that box.
Well, basically you need to get your stuff as well. So what type of caster are you?
Arcane caster.
Arcane, yeah.
So basically, sure, it's probably what Ragged is.
Rakesh is primal.
Yeah, and mine's divine and burst.
So Rakesh, Martin's character, is primal, but the professor,
It's most likely arcane or runic.
yeah. So shall we go on to meet up with the good professor?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so as a side job, the professor does sell magic. As you meet up in
At a cafe at the uni? Or a bar?
probably in his office at the uni.
Okay. And he was, his name's very similar to Rakesh, but it's not Rakesh, is it?
It is sorry, Ragadesh.
How do we spell it?
Rakadesh.
D-E-S-A. Rakadesh. Okay, cool. In his university office. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So it's a gear run, really, isn't it?
It is a good gear run. So he says he does have a few things available at the moment. He does have a holy icon or a musical instrument, but anything else will require him to start hunting it down.
What is a holy icon?
So when you cast a spell using the holy icon, using the divine trait, you don't have to. It doesn't increase the difficulty of the spell by using divine.
Okay. So it's easier to cast a spell?
And when you cast a heal spell, you increase the number of wounds increased.
Yeah.
Is that good?
It's good for me.
When you're trying to heal people, it's good. But it's only good for divine casters.
Okay, and that's a holy icon,
Yep.
you said?
And
Yeah, unless it's an upgrade to one that I've currently got. I don't think you've moved across the item section for magic. Can't seem to find it anywhere.
He might not
it's
have...
under implements above the spells. So at the top headings, Shadowrun magical systems, you got spells by tradition, casting a spell, implements, runes, and Genesys.
Oh, implements. Yeah, that's it.
And then you put it all on the one page.
So is that holy item got any implemented material, or is it just the generic one?
It's the generic one.
Okay.
So if you want to get more than that, he can order it in, but rarity 4 is as high as he's got in his office at the moment.
And what was the other thing that he had?
A musical instrument. So when you cast a spell using the verse skill, you can add an additional target effect. Does not increase the difficulty.
And in layman's terms?
Basically, it's only useful to a person who uses the verse skill.
And what is the verse skill?
So where you've got the arcane skill, the verse skill is another magic skill.
Okay, so not useful for someone who's arcane. Okay, cool.
But he does say he can order some stuff in.
Okay.
So for an arcane person, he has the choices of a scepter, staff, tome, or wand, depending on your interests. So if you use a scepter, it's good for close combat, as well as increasing the damage you do when you cast offensive spells.
Right. The staff?
Is good for, makes it easier to cast ranged effects.
Okay.
And does the most damage of all the implements.
And the tome?
The tome,
the tome will take a while to get in.
it allows you to choose the spell you want to cast at a lower level.
Okay. The wand?
And the wand, again, it also decreases the level of a chosen spell.
With the staff, which you're saying can cause the most damage in that, I gather then, though you're encumbered, you're carrying staff around with you everywhere.
It's
It's not that heavy. It's got an encumbrance of 2.
It takes up your hand.
Yeah, it takes up both. Was it both hands or just one?
Normally to use it, you've got to have both hands, but
Yep.
you can carry it with one.
Yep.
So
Well, if you're, say, driving, carrying around a staff may not be the most, I can't think of the right word, convenient thing to have with you, getting a staff in and out of a car, say. If you're in an attack and you want to shoot someone with a pistol, you're going to have to put your staff down, type of thing. So, the question would be giving up like things like guns and that in order to use the staff, which as a magic user, as long as you've got the spells, I presume that that's not a huge problem.
the wand's the easiest one because you can hide it.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking about. You know, everyone will see you with a staff, whereas a wand you can keep up your sleeve, say, or lots of other options. You can put it away a lot easier if you want to get a gun.
You can also get it in bone, which means every time you cast an attack or curse spell, you heal a wound.
Okay.
Here, the base type is oak. You can get it with hazel, which is whenever you get a triumph when casting a spell, you add a blue dice to the result
Okay.
for each triumph, and it doesn't use up the triumph's actual effect. This
Yeah.
is in addition to the normal effect. If you get it in a willow, every time you successfully cast a spell, you add an advantage to the result.
Okay.
So the advantage doesn't occur until you succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And then the U, when you cast an augment barrier or heal spell, you heal the strength.
Okay. I think the hazel one might have sounded the best for me.
The one that adds the blue dice when you get the triumph.
What was the one before that?
When you successfully cast an attack or curse, you heal a wound.
That one.
The bone one. So you
Yeah.
can get your bone wand.
Okay. I'm gonna order a bone wand. Did you want something?
Well, I'll take the musical instrument
Mm-hmm.
because I actually can use it.
Yep.
Means I can have a chance of dispelling 2 effects.
Yeah, no, I think if it's there and you can make use of it, it's definitely worthwhile grabbing it.
I would like to get a holy icon in U.
What was the advantage of you again?
When you successfully cast an augment barrier or heal, you reduce your strain by 1.
Oh, okay, I can see why that's useful.
You make it obtains 1 to you, determines 1 effect at the moment. Okay, so the wand has a random attribute unless we can actually specify what we're after. And that would increase the price, correct?
It doesn't increase the price, no.
Yeah, a boned one does sound interesting.
So what it will do, we'll reword that one. They will need to have it reworded to make sense because it basically says you don't have the wand, it's harder to cast a spell. Well, technically, it's already hard to cast a spell without the wand.
Yeah.
The wand's supposed to make it easier.
Yep, okay.
So it will say this type of spell is easier to cast with the wand. And I'll talk to you between games to say what's most appropriate for the character.
Yep. Okay.
Because it doesn't have to be attack spells, you don't have to specialise in that.
Yep.
Defensive magic is actually quite useful. So yes, you've ordered a bone wand, a U holy icon. The holy icon will most likely arrive earlier because it's a rarity 5, whereas the wand is a rarity 9.
Okay.
With the standard hard to get rarity 10. So that might be a good point to stop then. You've managed to talk to that person, they will say they'll get back to you when they get it
Get this stuff.
in, and because of Womp's association with him, he's happy to sell it whenever you take the money whenever it arrives. Because
Yep.
you can always sell it on to someone else.
Okay, yeah.
Whereas most specialty items generally can't be resold if the person can't get it.
These two make sense.
And some of the materials may get a boost on what they do as well. Okay, so you've now managed to get yourself ideas, get yourself infiltration gear, and I might throw in a 2 climbing harnesses as well. Just in case.
Yep. That makes sense.
Everything else wouldn't be as necessary. And some magical gear, which now gives you a good pile of stuff to go off and do a run with.
Yeah, it sounds like we're pretty well set for doing the run.
Okay, so thank you very much for being able to make it tonight, Ross. Sorry we only had a couple of people.
Oh, that's alright. At least we've now managed to start getting magicked out.
Well, yeah, we've started gathering the kind of gear we're going to need.
And you'll have the gear long term. And basically hearing about things in the background is meant to be flavour of the setting, not what you have to deal with straight away.
Yeah.
Because if the world doesn't have events happening in the background, it's not really a world.
No. Well, that's true.
Okay. So I will put it to end credits and probably pile myself into bed again. I've already gone to bed 3 times today.
That's alright.
Unfortunately, that's the nature of chronic fatigue.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Hopefully you'll feel a little bit better tomorrow.
Hopefully I do too. And will you be making it next Friday for D&D?
What was it? Friday week,
Yeah, Friday week,
Yep, that'd be cool. It'd be good to get some D&D going.
And so just a heads up, I will probably be continuing the combat from where it left off, because the players really do need to remember how to play their characters.
Yeah, we need to make sure we're on top of how to do our spells and use our weapons.
Oh, I just got confused on where everybody was.
Yeah.
We'll try to make a digital map so you can actually be a little more on the ball, but because I didn't know who was turning up last session, I didn't spend my time trying to set up for people who weren't there.
Yeah, well, we didn't know if we were even going to have people.
Yeah, no, I just got confused that the 8 guards actually got into the room that we were originally in. I thought there was the room where everybody was in, I should say where the enemy was in, and it looked like there was another room behind it where the mages were. Was that correct?
No, the mages were in the back of that room.
Oh, okay. Because I thought there was actually a room where the mages were.
No. Sorry if I described it badly. We'll try to...
Oh, no, it's alright. It's just basically got into the chaos of combat.
Yeah.
And me going down on the closet's first round is... Yeah, so I would have been just out of it going up, down.
It's a very apt description. Chaos of combat.
Hey, if you had have managed to do it without stepping into the room, it would have been effective.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But you probably would have also got Sue's character with it. If you were happy with getting Sue's character with it, then it would have basically taken...
No, I wasn't trying to get Sue's character. I basically was trying to avoid everybody else, that's why.
Yeah.
And the other thing is,
sometimes that can get you into trouble.
Yeah, but the other thing is, this is the first time we've gone against professionals.
Yeah.
Everything else hasn't been professionals.
It has been a long time since we've done combat.
Yeah, but no, I mean, on the normal combat, you haven't been going against professionals.
Yeah,
and I always seem to fail on my fire sword, so I don't know why I even try to pull it out.
Because of that one time it works, it'll be fabulous!
It would, but every single time I've tried to pull out the Flame Blade...
No, you got it to work, but we then told you not to use it because we were in a field of long grass.
There was that one too, yes. There was that one time it did work.
Yeah. You guys got a better memory than I do.
You couldn't use it.
Flame Blade!
Look, let's just put it this way. I've made a mental note, don't bother with Flame Blade right now.
No. Everybody has their crux.
And
Yours are flame blade. I am going to be always unconscious when there's anything involved in ship travel.
Yep. That's...
And David is never going to have mounted combat.
God, it'd be funny if he does, though.
He did on the game that wasn't his mounted specialist.
Yeah.
But even then, that didn't last very long.
I know.
Because he lost connection before it actually occurred.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the connection's a bit iffy for him sometimes.
Yeah.
That is true.
That must be very frustrating.
I'm going to call it a night.
Okay.
Yep.
Good night,
Well,
Ross.
good night, and I'll see you next week.
Take care.
See you next week.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
Bye.